Guys, welcome. It's Skill Up here. Today we're going to be talking about the recently announced nerf to Balanced. It's going in the 1.2 patch, which is coming up soon. We don't exactly know when, but this is a huge shift in the metagame. It's a huge shift in the overall sort of like weapon balance. So stick around to hear about how exactly this change is going to be affecting you. Balance is broken? Yes, absolutely. Balance is broken. It has always been broken. From the minute I saw this talent, I knew it, and I made a video a while back saying that I believe this talent is bugged, and sure enough, it was. So Balanced in its current form completely removes your reticle bloom. Like there's no reticle bloom whatsoever. When you fire your gun, the reticle just stays the same size all the time, right? Whereas any other gun that doesn't have this balance talent, your reticle will bloom, it will get larger, which actually means that you need to fire at a slower rate to keep that reticle under control, right? So Balanced is actually one of the largest, and in my opinion, probably the largest DPS increasing talent in the game at the moment, purely because it means that you can just fire off again and again at your maximum rate of fire, and you never need to worry about your reticle becoming too large. So Balanced really threw out the balance of weapons in this current form, because basically, you know, M1A marksman rifles came to completely dominate the meta. Everyone is running an M1A marksman rifle with balance at the moment. And if you see a marksman rifle without balanced on it, you are almost immediately going to chuck it out. You're not even going to look at it. That's a minimum requirement, right? Similarly with assault rifles, the vast majority of assault rifles that are being used today are very much propped up by balance. So with the exception of, say, the Caduceus, everyone else that's looking to roll a solid assault rifle is typically looking for balance to maintain that reticle control that they really need. So this talent is having an absolutely massive impact on the current weapon meta. How do we know it's getting fixed? Well, in the recent state of the game, the developers had this to say.
Balanced, it's the same. Balanced is going to be fixed in the next update. It's also a client-side thing, so yeah.
Yes. That one's not working as intended, so.
Yeah, definitely.
And later on the stream, Hamish actually clarified what exactly this meant. So the way balance currently works is that it actually keeps your reticle really small all of the time. So whenever you have the weapon shouldered like this, then you are going to have that tiny little reticle that never ever gets any bigger. How it should work though is that it should only kick in on the very first time that you shoulder the weapon, so that when you bring it up, then you get that benefit on that first shot, but after that it does absolutely nothing for you. So this is how it will work when it is fixed in patch 1.2, which again comes out later, we don't exactly know when. So this is absolutely a really big deal. As I said, everything is being propped up right now by balance, and the fact that it's going to change is really going to affect you. So what does it mean? Well, first of all, I really think that M44, the bolt action marksman rifles, are going to be far more competitive these days. Now, they were definitely behind the M1A under certain conditions, even without balance. So the M1A I think is still marginally better. And I think if you're able to get the right sort of configuration for it with plenty of crit chance, crit hit damage, headshot chance, and the right sort of talents behind it, you could actually get a really great, very competitive, very worthwhile but M44 marksman rifle that I'd really recommend using. For assault rifles that aren't the Caduceus and that don't have like god roll damage rolls, then there's a big problem here basically. You know, you really needed balance on your assault rifle to really make it work properly. And so without that, assault rifles are taking a big hit. Now, we don't know what other weapon changes are coming in patch 1.2, that's for sure. We have no idea, you know, what other balances or buffs or fixes or adjustments or whatever are coming to the rest of the weapons. So it's possible that we might see some other changes to assault rifles, for instance, to compensate for this change. But yeah, I don't know, we'll see. And yeah, marksman rifles absolutely do not need a compensation for this change. Marksman rifles are already pretty much where they need to be, even without balance. Just balance made them ridiculously overpowered. So definitely don't expect some sort of compensation to make marksman rifles better in light of this change. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking, man, this sucks. I've dropped hundreds of materials into rolling the perfect M1A. I grinded to rank 75 Dark Zone so I could craft an M1A. I have been throwing out tons of weapons that didn't have it because I thought that's how it would work. I totally get all that. And look, it sucks. If I would say anything here, it's probably that it would have been great for Massive to clarify earlier on that this was bugged, so that maybe people didn't throw all of their eggs in one basket on this front, because I know that people have definitely invested a lot of resources resources to get a balanced roll on these weapons. However, I must say that this is actually a really good change. Unquestionably, this is a good thing for weapon balance in the game. It's basically going to mean that a variety of guns that you never would have looked at before because they didn't have balance will now be viable, will now be something that you will consider. And overall, that's only a good thing. That's a fantastic thing. This game needs more diversity in terms of its weapons, not less. So I really hope that you guys, when you look at this change, will sort of see that and sort of like appreciate that component of it, because I totally get these sort of like, oh man, it sucks, I've wasted 400 of crafting materials on getting a balanced weapon. So guys, that's it from me today. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's plenty more Division content coming through, particularly weapons and theory crafting and gears. That's what I love to do. And patch 1.2 is not too far away. So if you really want to get the lowdown on what are all the changes that are coming down the line and exactly how do they affect you, then please stick around. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below in terms of what kind of coverage you'd really like to see coming into patch 1.2. And as we finish off this tier of content, what is it that you'd like me to cover in the next little while? I definitely have some big plans. I'm doing a DPS guide very soon, a life leech guide, and I've got a few other videos planned, but I'd love to hear from you guys what you'd like to hear as well. So thanks very much for watching. Take good care of yourselves and see you in the dark zone. Bye-bye.